in Utah Congressman Burgess Owens, who was going to join Dr. Gina and David here in this conversation. First of all, Congressman, thanks for being here with us. Your reaction to what we just saw, and then we'll move on to some of the other issues of the day.
Well, that's what our country does. We look at our leaders, we take a look at the good and the bad, and at the end of the day, we respect them all as we move on to what I think is going to be one of the greatest chapters of our country right now. So this is the way our country is, and that's what we love about it, this transitional process we always have.
Congressman, let me move on to some of what's going on Capitol Hill. This is like turning into a Dr. Seuss book, one fish, two fish, one bill, two bills. Like what's happening here exactly? Like what's your sense of how this reconciliation process will go down? We had Congressman Andy Ogles on earlier in the show who talks specifically about that he thinks it'll end up being two bills. What do you think is going to happen here?
I'll say this: we're going to take the leadership, the leader of our country. I mean, President Trump has a way he wants to approach it. Obviously, it has to work. At the end of the day, it's to get the packages in that we need to have. I will say this: we have a very small majority. The upside is we have a very strong president, someone who has a mandate, who has at this time and place the will of the party that wants to make sure this works out. We have promises he's made, so it's a process that we're going through right now, and there's a lot of talking going on because we have again in our party a very diverse process of thinking of how we want to approach and get our country moving forward. The upside is that we know we have to do it together, and so we're looking at where we can come together on ideas that we might not. That we in the past have been very strong on, but what we can do to make sure the package we put together works for everybody, and we do put it across the line and get signed off by the President of the United States.
Congressman, another story that caught our eye was the GOP's first border bill that passed, the Laken Riley Act. It seems very common sense to require detention for illegals who commit burglary and other crimes, but only a handful of Democrats actually voted to pass it. What is your message to them?
I think the message is, what is their message to us? We're now 4 years into a crazy time of chaos, of pain, and misery of American people. President Trump has a mandate because of it, and we still have a Democratic Party that doesn't quite get it. So my hopes are that now that we're in this position, we're starting to look at what is America first? How can we protect American people? How can we make sure the bad people are kept out of our country? And once we find them, to get them out of here. And those who vote against that, there should be a price to be paid, because these bad actors do not look at what party you're part of. They look at us as Americans, and they don't like us as Americans. So we have to start looking at, for those who are in these districts, what's the best interest for you, and are you having people that's voting for you, whether they're Democrat or not? If they're not voting for your best interest, for your safety, then you need to find somebody else. I think that's the biggest message coming out of this particular, very simple, common sense bill.
Congressman, Joe Biden in a recent interview said that he's still undecided on preemptive pardons for some of the people out there who he thinks could be investigated by the incoming Trump administration. Some of the names being floated include Liz Cheney, Dr. Anthony Fauci, others. He's already, of course, pardoned his son, Hunter Biden, which had many of us hot under the collar. So do you think that Joe Biden is actually going to be abusing his power if he does, in fact, go forward with these preemptive pardons?
Well, he's abused his power for 4 years, so should we be surprised if he does this? I will say this: the Democrats, particularly Biden, does a good job rejecting their ideas on us. This whole idea of lawfare, of doing things that is not democratic, this is what they've been known for. That's what they've seen. That's what American people rejected them out in a big mandate way this year. So I would not be surprised. We'll have to deal with whatever the consequences are of this, but I'll say this: there will be a stain on anyone that accepts a pardon leaving this particular reign, because obviously they're accepting a pardon for a reason, and it's not because of the American people, because the president's going after them for no reason. It's because they've done some things that have not been for the benefit of our country, and that's going to be the stain, will always be there if in case he does go in this direction.
Speaking of the stain, Joe Biden's last 4 years, let me specifically ask you, how hard will it be for President Trump to undo a lot of this and then make America great again? I mean, Joe Biden has done a lot of damage, and his administration, to this country.
He's done a lot of damage. I'll say this: there is an upside. We have a country that seems to always be resilient. We figure out a way to get through it all. The upside of what Biden gave us is a time for us to come together as a people. He's brought so misery, so much pain that across the line we are talking like we have never talked in the past. We have a chance for Blacks, Hispanics, Jewish, Muslims to come back to the base of conservatism that we've always believed in. And we have a chance now as a party to give a message of hope that America's won. This is what we're thrive for. So yes, he's doing some tremendous damage to us, but we come back out. Within our DNA, we love hope. We love to come back and we love to unite when we can. He's given us an opportunity to do that. And with President Trump at our helm, leading our country, America first. And by the way, we have a Congress that's taken 6 years, but we're also America first at this point. And with our leadership, we're going to do some great things for our country. And again, make our country great again, give our country, fellow countrymen hope again. And I'm excited about being part of that process.
Now, some great points, Congressman Owens. Thanks for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so
you.
much, sir.
Thank you, guys. All the best. Have a good one.
Too.